Braden Smith has been named the Big Ten Player of the Year. It's been a sensational season for Braden Smith. Big Ten Network is currently behind me right now, airing interviews with Braden and putting up some numbers from him. Here's something Big Ten Network shared. He's the first major conference player since 2003 with 15 points per game, 8 assists per game, and 4 rebounds per game in a season. He is 21 assists shy of breaking his own record for most assists in a Big Ten player's season. He set the Purdue record for career assists on February 28th. And Purdue as a school, the first school with 3 consecutive Big Ten Player of the Year awards. Zach Edey twice, and now Braden Smith. Theoretically, this could be the first of 2 for Braden Smith as well. Well deserved from my perspective, Cart. Everyone knows that you and I are huge fans of Braden Smith, both publicly and privately at this point. But how are you feeling with the announcement that he is the Big Ten Player of the Year?
I think that in a space where we see across the country a lot of like awards can be, I think, misgiven, or I'm not sure the word. Like I think sometimes the awards can go to somebody who I don't think maybe should have got it, or I think there is some type of something else at play there. But for this, I think it truly just it makes sense. He is the best player in the Big Ten. It was a cute little fun 2 week run where John Tonji played really well and beat Braden Smith, and Braden Smith struggled. But at the end of the day, the Big Ten Player of the Year went to the best player in the Big Ten, which is Braden Smith, which is all you can ask for at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think it was fun to do the Tanji versus Braden thing at points. How real do you think it ever got that this was potentially not going to go to Braden Smith?
It got real. It got real until the UCLA game, I would say, when he bounced back and had 23 and 8, 4 steals in that game, then followed it up with another good game, then followed it up with another near triple double. I think that kind of shut things down a bit.
Yeah.
And Tanji laying eggs on the other end of it too.
Yeah, I it was really just the 4 game losing streak, right? But I think this speaks to what Braden Smith is, the fact that like he had a quiet stretch, his team lost 4 straight to fall out of contention, and then it became a discussion. Like it wasn't if that doesn't happen, this is never a discussion and he's unanimous. And with most players, if your team went through a cycle like that, I think it would eliminate you, not just put it into discussion. So do you view this? We've covered the Big Ten for 5 years as coverage. We've watched it for 30 years as fans. There are certain years I look back on as like that was a pretty strong year, or that was a pretty weak year for any sort of player of the year conversations. Last year, for example, Zach Edey, Terrence Shannon, incredibly strong year. Terrence Shannon would be the player of the year so many years, but there was never a chance last year. Um, will you look back on this year, really, Smith and Tanji? Is that a strong year for the Big Ten Player of the Year award?
Not really, with all due, and that's not to take away from Braden whatsoever. I just think that, you look at John Tanji being second in that fold. Good player, maybe honorable mention All American, maybe. But I think that there is a clear differentiator there, and there was with Edie and Shannon as well. But if Shannon didn't go through what he went through last season, I think he's a first team. I think he's a first team All American, and
Yeah.
that's 2 first team All Americans vying for the award. Where in this case, I don't think that's the notion.
This kind of reminds me of like the Johnny Davis year. Wasn't it like Johnny Davis, Jaden Ivey?
Is that who it was?
I'm trying to remember who actually won. Keegan Murray was there though, and Kofi was
Yeah,
there. So I guess there were a few more guys, but um yeah, I don't know. I think Braden's the only guy in this league that is going to be remembered as an all-time great. And I think it's hard to talk about that in real time because how do you even realize what's happening? But I want to prep people, if we haven't already in 3 years of covering this kid, he's going to go down as one of the all-time greats. Like we will look back on the fact that Zach Edey and Braden Smith played together as an all-time. How did that happen? How did those 2 guys overlap at the same time on the same team? They are uniquely, individually that special. And I don't think anyone thought that coming into the season. We might have floated it, but it's all been lived up to, right? He was the preseason player of the year, and he was alone in his own stratosphere with that. Nobody argued that. He's the postseason Big Ten player of the year, and nobody's going to be upset that John Tonji didn't win it. John Tonji had great numbers and is more than worthy of being in a conversation. But I think it defines sort of the state of the league and what Braden will be remembered as to me. This year specifically, with 18 teams, Cart, there was a lot of freshman talent. That's what I'll remember the most about this year is like there were a bunch of guys that came in and were really special and contributed to teams, transfers that came in for 1 year, but there's only one guy that will be historically remembered as a great, and it's the guy that just won the Big Ten Player of the Year award.
Yeah, things change, new teams, new players, all that changes. As long as Braden Smith puts on a Purdue uniform, there's a constant that he's going to be the best player in the Big Ten.
Yeah. You got to make it 2 for 2.
How so?
Well, he could come back next year, win it again, and that would be 4 consecutive years that a Purdue player won it back-to-back repeats.
I mean, he's going to be the favorite to repeat for sure.
I mean, if he's back, he's winning it.
He's winning a Player of the Year award in some conference.
He'll be back.
Yeah, and he would win it again.
He could be the National Player of the Year next year.
Very much so.
Like, I think coming into next season, he'll probably be the preseason National Player of the Year favorite.
I mean, look at the first team All-Americans. Braden Smith, I think, is on that list. I think he might be the only player on that list that's returning to college next season.
Yep.
So, yeah, had to be front runner for National Player of the Year.
So basically, what we're saying, Purdue fans, I hope you know how good you have it. Like,
You got it very good.
this is so like I can't imagine going from 2 years of Zach Edey to 2 years of Braden Smith like this.
Yeah, they're spoiled. They're spoiled as hell.
It's pretty awesome for them.
Good on them.
Maybe most importantly, what's he going to change about his physical appearance for next year? This year, the whole deal was the beard. What's it going to be next year?
Tats, I think, is the next step.
Got any recommendations for what Braden Smith should get tatted?
He should get a Westfield, Indiana skyline tatted on his left leg, a whole mural.
Do they have a skyline?
Maybe not so, but I'll visit there and I'll get some ideas.
And they're probably just like a quality dairy.
What's Westfield, Indiana known for?
I would propose this. Tell me how you feel about this. I think he should start wearing one hoop earring.
I might be in on the one hoop earring.
Just one, like the left ear hoop earring. That's it.
Yeah, or up a chain.
Or I would also not hate a tat of a ring on his ring finger.
Like a small tat?
Just like it literally, he tats a ring and then he points at the ring.
I kind of like that, but I think the first move should be chain. I need a BM3 chain.
Okay. Braden, we'll talk to you in the off season, but if you want ideas, consult us, please. Congratulations to my favorite player in the country, the one and only Braden Smith, on a historic achievement.